like it's been forever.
Well, it's been 2 weeks.
All 3 feeds are live.
There we go.
Well, hello, everybody.
Your page was a little slow.
A little slower.
Oh, sorry.
Well,
Dean
welcome
Nixon.
everybody to Monday Night Live.
We're
Kate
back.
Semmens, Dean Nixon, Turning Leaf. We're so excited to be with you tonight after taking a week off. So
Or 2.
it might have been 2 for some of us. For
Mhm.
some of us.
It was 2.
So we are in here debating who had the better tan, and I'm pretty confident it was me.
Right. But to which I said, you probably have the most dramatic color change because I already had a pretty solid tan happening before the island. So it just like kept layering.
Yes. Well, it was a blast. It was great. Kate was in Hawaii.
Mm-hmm.
I was in Hawaii. We actually were able to meet up for lunch one day, and then Kate went on to other islands, and she and her companion, me and my companion, we just had a blast. It was so
fun.
amazing.
Yeah.
Such an amazing opportunity and trip. But we are excited to be with you tonight as people are jumping on to see us, and hello. And our tonight's topic we really loved, and one of the things that had come up, we were talking in group tonight,
Mm-hmm.
which is always such a great source of inspiration for our feeds, is we start thinking about...
Oh, we should say what group.
Oh.
Every Monday night we have a free family support group for anybody in the southern Utah area, or if you want to take a drive, come on over from Michigan. I see Michigan girls popping up in there.
That's right.
But come on over, and it's really great. We have all sorts of different types of family dynamics that show up.
Yep.
I know it was a really big source of comfort and help for me when I was going through all my stuff, caretaking my father, and then after his passing, things like that. And we have parents that have kids that are struggling in substance abuse and in the recovery process of that. So it's just like a huge gamut. Anyway, I've talked long enough about what Monday Night Group is.
Yes. So more than welcome. It's from 6 to 7:30 every Monday. So we were talking in it about some of the issues that are facing us, issues that are facing us on a social level, as well as in a level of helping those that are struggling in addiction, those that are struggling with mental illness, those that are struggling with homelessness. And we were really having such a great discussion that it spilled over into our topic tonight. And the one question that kept coming up in the group is how do we solve this? How do we solve this? How do we solve this? And as a group, and we were discussing it and talking about the different dynamics and the things that are kind of keeping us from solving these issues, one of the thoughts that Kate had that came up with, I thought, is a great thought.
It's basically brilliant.
And essentially brilliant. And so as she brought it up, she said, is this a great topic? I said, it absolutely is a great topic. And this is the topic for tonight.
Mm-hmm. So the idea that we want to discuss tonight and share with you guys and get your feedback also, if you post it up in the feeds, we'll be happy to get what your thoughts and feelings are on it. But oftentimes, so what I was saying was oftentimes the hard road ends up being the shortcut to the destination that we want. Hearts, I saw those hearts.
A lot of hearts coming
amazing.
up right now.
So one particular situation that was brought up in our group was a woman was speaking about some of her family members that are just kind of in and out of jail, and they have a lot of trauma in their childhood past. And she's like, what is it that is going to make this work? Like, what system do they need to get into? What judge do they need to get in front of so they get court ordered the right kind of treatment? And I just said, well, kind of unfortunately, it's on them. What's going to work is for them to want to get better, want to take that harder road of actually digging into their stuff, getting all their healing done to be able to create a better life for themselves.
Right.
And so that hard road, although can oftentimes be super scary and really difficult, ends up being the shortcut to the life that we want to be living.
And I love how Kate put it. She said sometimes the long road is the shortcut. And that is such a profound thought to me, because hard work is something that we as humans have worked very hard to not do. and
thank you, air conditioning.
Yeah, thank you, air conditioning. Thank you, frozen food.
Yes.
Thank you, canned food.
Thank you.
Thank you for all the wonderful things that we do have and we do enjoy.
Yes. Indoor plumbing.
But the issue that we're running into is sometimes we are taking that into the emotional aspect of our lives as well, where it serves a very healthy purpose in our physical lives, where even the office chair that we're sitting on right now are very, very comfortable and ergonomic and all the things that help our body.
That was a good word, Dave.
It's a big word.
Ergonomic.
But there's all these other issues when it comes into our emotional and mental venue. When we start to bring that let's make this more comfortable into the emotional and the mental side of things, now we start to create bigger issues. And this is where I see a lot of it as a coach of water polo. One of the big issues is really how comfortable and how soft do we make it. If you're giving everybody a participation trophy, and we've talked about this in episodes before, if we're giving everybody a participation trophy, well, that's great, but where is the competition?
Right.
And if we want to have different leagues where one's a participation league and one's a competition league, great. But when we start to do that emotionally in our own lives, where it's like, well, I want things to be easy emotionally, that's where things start to break down.
Absolutely. I love the correlation you made with that part of it being easy, right? And we've had a lot of lives where we've talked about some of those different coping strategies, right? Like those numbing out things,
right? Which
then, like you're saying, just create bigger situations and issues for us in our life.
Yes.
Whereas if we would just buckle down, feel our feelings, do what it is that we need to do in order to be able to heal and grow and move forward, then we would once again be taking that shortcut.
But I don't like my feelings.
No!
I don't want to feel sad. I don't want to feel depressed. I don't want to feel ugly. I don't want to feel lonely. I don't want to feel afraid. I don't want to feel.
Who does?
And that's the hard part, is we don't want to feel these things because we don't know how to cope with those things. And we're always preaching coping skills, and we're always touting, the 4 steps of confidence and the key, the 8 essential coping skills. But it really is about being willing to do the hard work and being willing to do those hard things in our lives. And the thing that I'm seeing in in my experience with people is parents are coming to me all the time. Like, how do I give my child healthy self-esteem? How do I give my child confidence to go out into the world and to be able to do things that other people don't want to do? Well, the best thing is through example. And one of the greatest examples we can show our children is how to do hard things, how to be comfortable with being uncomfortable, how to be comfortable with losing a game, how to be comfortable with feeling like you don't like your body, but you can find ways to work through those things. Having the coping skills and the coping mechanisms is really where self-confidence and self-esteem building can come from.
Absolutely. And I just would add another thing is, don't go in and rescue them. Allow them to feel their feelings, right? Like being able to help them navigate those pieces as they're going through it. Like, oh man, sis, that is hard. You're doing so good. What's something that we can work on here together, but not going into rescue. Yeah.
And one of the biggest issues that we have on that is that we personalize our own similar feelings. That's, I think, one of our biggest issues is we personalize some of our own personal feelings of having similar experiences. So when our child comes home and our child's like, hey, I'm struggling at school because I don't feel like people like me, we immediately personalize that and go, oh, I remember how that felt. I remember how that feels. Let me go in and rescue that. Let me go in and save you from that. Instead of stepping back and going, yes, I do. I remember that moment, and I had moments like that. And I was able to work through them using some skills, but not tell them, here's how you solve it, but just say, hey, I was able to get through it with skills. What are some ideas you have? And if you want, I can make some suggestions. But you're right. We do run in and we try to rescue them. And I think that's where some of our social issues in the world is right now, is that we are walking this fine line between trying to rescue people, but also allowing them to learn on their own.
Right.
And that is where we struggle.
Oh my gosh, so much struggle out there, especially talking about some of these bigger social issues that we're talking about, because everyone's always trying to come up with some sort of plan or scenario that's going to eradicate homelessness, right? Like be able to have more mental health people and professionals and facilities and buildings to be able to help people that way. And that all takes dollars.
Lots of dollars.
And it takes a lot because
manpower,
and quite honestly, a lot of creativity, because what we're doing is not working.
Right. It isn't.
So like there's some out of the box thinking and some like risk taking that is that hard road, right? That like someone's going to pony up millions of dollars. That's a huge risk to go out and try something different. I did have one thought, Dean, I wanted to circle back around to really quickly. I find it very interesting how we as humans, in our nature, don't necessarily want to experience all of that humanness, right?
Yes.
Like we were talking about, like, I don't want to feel sad. I don't want to feel lonely. I don't want to feel depressed or anxious or stood up on a date or whatever it is, right? Like I don't want to feel those things. And yet it's all those very things that are such a huge part of being human.
Right.
And the process of that and being able to walk through those pieces, that long road, right? Like that harder road, that as you do it and you come through, then you're just that much more resilient for the next time.
And more confident.
Absolutely.
More confident.
So if we're talking confidence.
And that's where, and we've got that phrase. What comes to my mind when you start talking down that path is resilience and the ability to be resilient. We want our children to be resilient. We want our children to be able to go out into the world and to be able to take rejection. We want our children to be able to go out into the world and thrive. But a lot of our children right now are afraid to apply for jobs. They're afraid to go out and date. I mean, really dating right now is more of a hang out. You want to hang out now and
or let's take it one step farther. It's just like texting via an app, right? Like, and maybe we might get together in real life.
And so
IRL.
There's so much risk there. There's so much emotional risk, which brings a lack of confidence into our world, and that resilience comes through adversity. And when we are softening all the edges, when we are cushioning all the blows, we take away that ability to really bring joy into our world. And that leads to one of the other things we've talked a lot about recently, which is the anxiety. So we've got this big surge of anxiety. It was really intriguing to me. Last night I was looking on Audible because I love, listening to books. And I was going through the best sellers of 2019. And what blew my mind, if you guys haven't done this yet, do it. There's a large amount of them on anxiety.
Oh, wow.
Like there's this huge push. But the thing that's intriguing to me about it is, if we're softening all the corners, if we're blunting all the edges, if we're taking all of the discomfort out of the world, well, yeah, you're going to be anxious because you're not going to know what is going to hurt and what isn't going to hurt. And so we're always going to be trying to predict. And the softer we make the world, the more gray area that we create rather than this cause and effect world we really need to be involved in. The more we take that cause and effect out, the more anxiety we're creating. And I don't think people are recognizing that. I think it's going over people's heads. I think the intention is there. Yeah. This huge intention of, hey, let's stop bullying. Yes, please. Let's be kinder about our bodies. Yes, please. Let's create more tolerance about age and race and those. Yes, please. I'm on board with all of those things. But when have we gone too far to the point where we're creating anxiety in our world where people won't even speak up? They won't even use their voice. They won't even be authentic. And they're hiding behind these glass windows, trying to not be real. Because if I'm open, I might get hurt.
Right.
If I'm open, I might be rejected. If I'm open, people might disagree with me. If I'm open, people might not follow me, or they may not like my posts. And we've gotten to a place where I think we've gone so far that it's hard to create that resilience anymore in our youth. And there's this huge uptick in anxiety.
I agree. And I don't think it's just a youth issue. Like it's
a
human issue,
yeah,
right?
it's a huge human issue.
Yeah, because I mean, we're seeing of all age levels just really struggling with this idea of anxiety and having the capacity to take those healthy risks, which we're always also talking about, right? Like, which is how you increase your capacity to take more risk and to be more confident and to get out there and take that harder road.
Yeah, it was amazing to me being in Hawaii. It was awesome.
Did we mention that
we were
just
in Hawaii?
spent some time in Hawaii?
Not together.
No.
Just for
lunch.
Lunch. We did have lunch.
We had a crossover.
but it was so amazing to me because I'm on the beach, as we're on the beach, and I'm looking around. People are on their phone at the beach.
On the beach.
I'm like mind blown. And as we're getting into these restaurants and places that we're going through, everybody's on the phone. They're like sitting across from an individual, but everybody's on their phone in paradise. And I'm like, of all the places that you don't want to be on your phone, but everybody's plugged in, because the difficulty in communication, the ability to just verbalize your thoughts and feelings is just so much safer to thumb through your feed, numb out, communicate, if and only like through a double tap with a heart or a thumbs up. You know, we're really losing the ability to do the harder things. And the ability to do those hard things, as you put it so well, doing those hard things is the shortcut. It is the shortcut to getting what we want. But we're trying to take the shortcut in our minds, the quote shortcut, and by taking the shortcut, it's turning into the longer road.
Absolutely.
And this longer road that's ahead of us, folks, is the mental health epidemic that's ahead of us, the opioid epidemic that's ahead of us, the social media epidemic, the pornography epidemic. All these epidemics are coming because we're trying to take the shortcut rather than take the hard road, which is the shortcut.
Right. Like, if you want to catapult your life, start doing hard things.
Yeah, 100%.
Boom.
Do the things, and that's one thing I really encourage youth to do, is do the things that nobody else is willing to do, the healthy things.
Yes.
Do the healthy things that nobody else is willing to do, and that can be the greatest key to your success in life. I know for me, that's been my mantra my whole life, is be willing to do the things nobody else is willing to do. To this day, I will scrub a toilet. That does not bother me. I will clean up barf. Nothing is beneath me, and nothing is too hard. But what's hard is getting complacent. What's hard is getting to the point where I can't deal with emotions that I don't want to feel. Now that's hard.
Yeah.
But being able to be uncomfortable and being able to do hard things, that's where the shortcut in life comes.
Absolutely. And just a quick plug also, by the way, we have a level 3 seminar coming up this weekend. We've got an amazing group of people going through. But that's one of the things when I went through the seminar process, because I've been in the therapy world for like working in it and being a part of it for quite a while myself. And to go through that process and in a weekend's time feel like I've got 6 months worth of therapy out of 3 days because of the emotional growth that you have, that you put into it. Like the more you dive into those kind of processes, the more you get out of it. And so this is just that exact same thing.
It is. And it's 3 days. We've got the introductory one, level 1, coming up in July or in January. In January. And it really is. It's a matter of I watch what people get from that process, and compared to doing, all the other things that we spend our time and money on doing, and the people that walk out of that process in 3 days have created more in 3 days than most people would create in 2 or 3 years.
Right.
On personal development growth. It's phenomenal.
And that's not to discredit anything that you're doing that's moving you forward, right? Like if you're working on those kinds of things, whatever's working for you is awesome. But there are those really intensive things in all areas of life
that scare us.
That are scary, that are like, oh man, I gotta break up with this guy, and I'm scared about it, and it's gonna hurt, and it's gonna suck.
And you can do it.
And you just do it, right? And then it's better, and you both can move on versus the months of dragging that process out sometimes.
Absolutely.
I mean, all the principles are the exact same. So applying it to your personal development, emotional growth, mental health road, or whatever you've got going on in your life that you're like, this is my mountain. This is a hard thing for me. Hit that mountain.
And
don't take the mountain like this.
Yeah.
Go like that.
Yep.
Get up that mountain.
Well, we are out of time as always. It has gone quickly again. So I want to thank everybody.
We even decided we were going to try to make them shorter so that they weren't going to be so long for you, but we just can't stop
Thank you
talking.
for tuning in. I can see part of the problem right here.
I know.
So thank you for tuning in.
Mwah.
As always, please like and share our videos so that more people can find them and find answers and help that they're looking for. But most importantly, please make sure that you take this topic to your dinner table. Take it to the water cooler. Take it to work. Talk, people. That's the only way we're going to solve the issues in our world is by talking them through. So, again, we will see you. Thank you, Kate, by the way.
Thank you, Dean.
And we will see you all next Monday on
Monday Night Live.
See you later.
Aloha.
Aloha.